Tiffany Empowerment Podcast. We have an amazing guest tonight. She said she's gonna teach me how to say her name the right way. Okay, so teach me right here on live.
How y'all doing, everyone? Thank you so much for having me.
Yes.
So my real name is Nildaira. It's a Spanish name because it's used with the Spanish alphabet. It basically means Maria and Edwin. So it's spelled Niwdayra. So after the D, my mom took out the E and it says Edwin backwards. And then before the first A, she took out the M and then she took out the I after the R, which is Maria. So it's New, like new, N-E-W,
Yes.
new, and then Daira, like D-I-Y, excuse me, D-I-H, and then R-A-H, new.
Nildaira.
There you go.
Nildaira.
Nildaira.
Listen, y'all not ready for that type of pronunciation. So we just got a lesson on Spanish culture.
Yes.
Right? So thank you so much for accepting this invitation to be on the podcast. Also, the reason why we're doing this is because we already know you're one of the most popular podcasters around town.
Thank you.
Okay. I'm just saying, correct me if I'm wrong. So what we're gonna do is we're first gonna start off by just allowing you to just share a bit about your background.
Okay.
What led you to where you are today?
Okay, cool. So,
Mhm.
you ask the question or?
Yeah, that was it. Like,
Okay, well.
share your background.
Rap sheet, a good rap sheet. Honestly, my background, like they say, I'm a jack of all trades,
Okay.
and I've come to accept that I am, and I'm very proud of that. I know a lot of people feel like, oh, if you're jumping from job to job, that's an issue versus if you're at one job for 20 years. No offense to anyone who's been at work for so many years, but me personally, I just couldn't be somewhere for 30 years. I'm sorry, and I know there's some good benefits, and more power to you guys, but I'm the type that I need to be knowledgeable on a little bit of everything. And I'm a dreamer. And with that being said, everything that I set my mind to do, I'm going to do. So I started off, I remember when I was in high school, before I started high school, I was like, I want to be a computer technician. I want to fix computers. Y'all don't laugh at me. I was really good into computers.
Or water.
That's fine, not right now.
Okay.
And then I got into high school and I'm like, okay, I'm in a computer technology class. And somehow, some way I ended up in a criminal justice program because I had good grades. And from there, I just kind of shifted into the legal field.
Okay.
And so when I graduated from high school, my goal was to become an attorney, a lawyer. I went to a criminal justice school. I got my bachelor's in criminal justice. I was an aspiring attorney. Throughout the years, I've taken the LSAT 3 times. And for those of you who don't know what the LSAT is, basically the law SAT.
Okay.
Like you take the SAT, but it's the law SAT. And it's not a passing or failing. It's more of a level type test, based. And for some reason, I keep getting a 130.
And that's not
All 3 times. Highest is a 180. And I'm at the 130.
Okay.
So
if you was to hit the 180, then what does that do? Does it open different doors?
girl, the percentages that barely anyone gets a 180.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, the statistics, that's them. You already know. But yeah, so I was in the law field. I did corrections. I did work in a law firm. I was a school teacher for 13 years. I was in the school field. All subjects, including an ESL teacher.
Okay.
So a lot of kids would say, oh, she's a Spanish teacher. I'm like, I'm not the Spanish teacher. Yes, I'm Hispanic. I speak Spanish, but I am the ESL teacher. I teach Spanish kids, or not just Spanish, all children that came from different nationalities. I taught them how to speak English, which is a big difference.
Yes. And they say that English is one of the hardest languages to actually learn.
Yes. I became fluent in English by the age of 14.
Okay.
So there was once a time I did not know how to speak English at all.
So what age did you get here to the States?
I got here around when I was like 4 years old, I think. But in my household, we were not allowed to speak English.
Oh, wow.
My mom, to this day, she does not speak English.
She still speaks.
My dad speaks English. My mom understands, she can defend herself, but majority of the elders in my family do not speak English.
Oh, wow.
So I was always speaking. Even today, my job where I work now, I am a social worker now. I speak Spanish 8 hours of the day.
Wow.
At the beginning of my day.
That's awesome. Well, that is good to know. I see why you're the most popular podcast around
Well,
here.
that was my career. That's how that started. So then one day, about 3 years ago, I decided that I wanted to switch careers. And I was like, I'm bored, I'm tired, I'm ready to follow my passion. And that is music, entertainment, dancing, modeling, hosting. And that is how I became the most popular podcast.
Look, when you said music, I'm like, should we have some type of bongo?
Everything, yes. But my dad plays the bongo, bongo,
Bongo.
and bongo, bongo. So
Bongo.
the conga is the long one.
Is that the one
That's
that
the one
Ricky
that you-
played on I Love Lucy?
Yeah, that's the conga. So other than the conga, because the congas are tall, you have they look like congas, but they're small.
Okay.
And you put them right here between your legs, and you hit it. That's my dad's.
I love drums.
Yeah.
I love drums. I love music. I love sound. I love art. I got similar stories like, I'm not gonna be here forever. I'm sliding through. So that's amazing. Okay. So let's kind of get a little bit more into what inspired you though to get, okay, you was talking about the music, so where did that aspiration come from? Was it something that was already inside of you as a little girl, or?
Well, that's the weird thing that my dad is a musician.
Okay.
My entire life I've been in a musical home. I'm talking about my dad had bands, my dad had students coming in. Like I woke up and went to sleep, to music, and it never occurred to me to be interested in doing music, which is the weirdest thing. My dad, he tried to get me to play instruments, but the most I did was a keyboard and drums. I was really good with the drums. And I can do the congas too,
I love
obviously.
the drums, and I love the shifting of the drums. Like you can hear the sound when it transitions. I'm like, oh.
You have to understand. You have to be in love with music to understand and not be annoyed by music. Because a lot of just the drums, period. Because a lot of people they can't take that because they don't understand the melody, the flow of how the drum is actually playing a rhythm.
Now, I done heard some unrhythmatic
Oh yeah,
drums.
of course.
But if you can really play,
I mean, look at Metallic. To us, we're probably like, what the hell? What are you doing? But there's a million people paying tickets just to hear that type of music.
yeah, and music has its own genres and different styles and stuff like that. So that's amazing.
But with that, it was I would say I come from a musical background. It's already in me, and so throughout my whole life, I was always somehow connected with music. I used to have throw parties. Like I would always be in talent shows. So I was always connected to it. But by the time I realized that I wanted to change and do music, it was years later.
Okay. So next question. What are some key milestones that you feel like you've achieved in your career endeavors? We can go both sides.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I guess in my career, my professional career, I would say I accomplished majority of everything that I wanted to do besides being a lawyer.
Okay.
But I'm halfway there. I have the bachelor's, so all I have to do is go to law school.
Okay.
And well, not really, because then that's 4 years of law school. Then I have to do the bar exam, I guess. But in about 6 years, I'm halfway. But that is the only thing I would say that I have not accomplished yet. But my biggest milestone would be right now, as we speak, because when I graduated from college, I wanted to get into social work. I wanted to be like a children's services worker.
Yes.
And I actually did my my volunteer hours at the Children's Aid Society in the Bronx, New York. And I worked there. I was basically the assistant of the program. I did pretty much everything. And at that moment, I realized that I was not mentally prepared or ready to take on that job at the age of 19.
Yeah.
It's a lot, going into people's homes, taking children away, and just these are serious cases.
Yes.
And I was like, no, thank you. Fast forward, about almost 20 years later, not so. I am now a social worker working with immigrant children, which is unaccompanied children who cross the border by themselves.
Yes.
And I'm the case manager or social worker that helps them reunite with their families here in the United States.
Awesome. So that means the family came before they were able to come and they searched for
Basically.
them? Okay.
Yes. So that's how that works. A lot of them come alone
Uh-huh.
and then they send for their kids because there's a law, if you
Correct.
don't know, there's a law that says that children from across are able to cross over to the U.S. and here they have legal rights until the age of 18.
Wow.
Yeah.
I actually know some friend girls, and I think maybe they use that law because they was able to come over. They weren't born here. They was born in Barbados.
Okay, yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, but they went to school here.
Now, this it's called the ORR Office of Refugee program, but they work with all continents. But I work with the children that cross the Mexican border.
Okay.
So there's the Hispanics
Okay.
in South America.
So are your roots over there? Because I heard you mention the Bronx.
So I was born in Puerto Rico, but my last name is Tapia. And I've been told and asked, am I Mexican? Because Tapia is a Mexican last name. I've been asked a lot in my lifetime, am I Mexican? And I'm like, even with, and I know it's not just my last name, because I'm like, even without people knowing my last name, when I'm like, oh, I'm Hispanic, of course they'll be like, are you Cuban? Are you Dominican? Are you Mexican? And I'm like, one would think, like, really? Mexican? Do I look Mexican? But there's a reason why people say that.
Right.
I've been thinking about checking my background, seeing what's going on.
To see
I wouldn't be surprised.
how deep your roots run.
They say I am Mexican. That's gonna be
Okay,
crazy.
but right now you like, I'm Puerto Rican.
Yeah,
Puerto
whatever.
Rican.
Listen, excuse me, I'm an Afro-Latina. Let's get it straight.
Yeah, I actually met a young lady who is focused on merging into that market.
Okay.
So y'all just know this is not going to be all the time seeing.
The most popular.
Okay.
Well, some people call me Miss Popular, some people call me most popular. Whatever you feel comfortable with.
Both works for me. So okay, so that was great. So let's talk about some of the challenges. What major challenges have you faced and how have you overcome them? You know, just being from where you're from and just going on the journey of embarking on getting your bachelor's, being so diverse, going into the workforce.
I know this probably may sound touche, but support means a lot. Support can take people a long way.
Yeah.
And I will forever be grateful for my family and even friends, you know, back in New York growing up, because I had all that support and help. I really didn't face challenges in graduating from high school or college. I'm very grateful. Not saying that it was the easiest thing. It was probably a little easier too because I was a nerd.
Okay.
I really didn't play by my grades, my school.
Okay.
So no, but when I graduated college, I'm not gonna lie. My last year, I got pregnant with my first child.
Okay.
And so I had to make a decision. Like, I gave birth in March. The school ends that May. What am I gonna do? Like, it's literally only 2 months. Am I really gonna sacrifice 2 months to come back a whole year? I gave birth. I went into labor Monday, gave birth Wednesday, and I remember my schedule was Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I was back in school that Monday.
I'm telling you, you about to be.
I wasn't playing. They tried to kick me out. I forgot that teacher name, but yes, she went into the office and was telling them that she didn't want me there because I was a liability because I had preeclampsia.
Okay.
So, but yeah, that was a challenge. I'm not gonna lie.
So is it okay for us to talk a little bit about the mom life? So how many kids do you have?
I have a 16-year-old daughter and a 13-year-old son who will be 14 in August.
Oh, awesome. My oldest son just turned 17 on the 9th.
Oh.
Yeah, so our kids were on the same age. So you had her 08?
Yes.
Oh, awesome.
2008.
So going right back and making those decisions, like mentally, like what made you make that type of choice? Because many people would have just been like,
I was in school with a lot of girls who was pregnant. It was like, F this. Listen, it was really, really hard. I can't sit here and say it wasn't because, first of all, in New York, there's a lot of train taking. There's not a lot of driving.
Correct.
So I lived in the Bronx. My school was all the way in Midtown Manhattan.
Damn, Bronx.
So I had to get on a train 45 minutes down there, and then coming back is more because of rush hour and everything. So just giving birth, having to leave my child in the house
with
mom and her godfather, Jesse. That's forever in my heart.
Maybe,
Maybe,
shouts out to you, Jesse.
you know, he already know. Yeah, breastfeeding, not being able, because I did breastfeed the first couple of months.
Okay.
Not being able to breastfeed, and I'm, in school sitting there worrying about my daughter, not worrying about that she's okay, but I want to get back to her. I'm feeling guilty. It was just a lot. And then, personally, obviously, personal stuff happening.
Correct.
So.
Okay, so next question. How do you define empowerment, and what is, or why is it important to you?
Empowerment, obviously, no, I won't say obviously.
Because we can't go to
right.
motherhood, we can't talk about career, we can't talk about college, education, her background, and then not go into empowerment.
Empowerment to me is confidence.
Mm-hmm.
It's what they say now, standing on business. All it takes is for you to set a goal and just accomplish it. That's empowerment.
Mm-hmm.
That's what empowerment to me is. Being able to obtain the things that I said that I wanted, or doing the things that I said I wanted to do. I feel accomplished. I feel good. Like, that's it.
And why is that important?
That's important to me because I don't want to live with the what ifs, the could haves. I don't like to live in regret. Because I don't really regret a lot of stuff in my life, to be honest.
So, question, do you have a strategy to empower others? And also, are those others women and unrepresented groups? I mean, if y'all listening and you can hear.
Listen,
yeah.
So, I've always been like the head of my village and everything and everywhere that I go. Mm-hmm. So, I like to talk and not necessarily talk like to conversate. I'm very informative. Mm-hmm. I was a school teacher for 13 years. So I speak detailed oriented. Mm-hmm. So when I speak, I'm going to tell you something. I want to make sure you understand, you get it, repetition, consistency. Yes. And that's just my leadership, my leadership skills. Absolutely. And I can't help it. But yeah.
Okay. So next thing, and if y'all just tuning in, that some of her unrepresented groups were those children. As a social worker, the things that she do, she's already aligned in that empowerment. That's empowering, even as you were sharing that about your social work, what you do in your career.
I mean, I'm a life advocate. I've been an advocate since I was 3 years old. I've always been the spokesperson. I'm the person who's gonna get everything in line. I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna defend you. I'm gonna be the referee. I'm gonna. Everything gotta be fair. Everybody gotta get a piece of the bread. I'm that type of person. Yes,
by nature.
By nature.
That's why we drawn to each other, girl. Because we just won our first case, and it was dismissed. They was trying to wrongfully evict us, and never have I ever been in that type of situation. And I said, nobody knows in my past life, like 6th grade, when we're trying to figure out what you want to be when you grow up. Being a lawyer was what I wanted to be. I said, Lord,
I never thought I wanted to be a lawyer.
Listen, yes. And then I didn't win the case in the classroom.
Like a mock trial. I've done mock trial.
Yes, girl, we did that mock trial. That thing ain't no joke.
It's not. It's like real court.
Yes. And just hearing you share about how you stand up and fight for what's right, like, that is important, because so many people do not have somebody that will speak up or stand up.
Now, I'm not saying that wasn't one of my downfalls in life, because it goes down to mind your business, why you always got something to say, stay out of it, about, all of that. Yep.
She ain't lying.
However, I was mainly more like that with my family. I'm the oldest of my generation, period. So I always held that hat with my siblings, my cousins, with everyone, So I had to learn to break out of that. Like, okay, it's not your place. Don't worry. Don't let it affect you. It doesn't matter if it's wrong. I'm a very righteous person, so that triggers me. Seeing the wrong thing, like, we're going to do it right. But I had to realize, like, it doesn't matter. It's not your problem.
And that's empowering, too. That's self-empowerment. Yeah. Learning how to
control and let it not being impulsive.
Yes, with everything, yes. Everybody. And then, because that can become draining. Because now you're like, why I'm feeling like this?
Right.
But really, I didn't even have to get involved in that.
Exactly. And it also stems from my controlness.
Yes.
I can be controlling, not as much as before, and I'm very dominant. I am a dominant woman.
That's
good. In general.
That's good to be able to identify that, though. Instead of being in denial.
Listen, I won't say that I was in denial, but I never owned it and just accepted it.
Correct.
And now I do. And I guess I do now because I'm not in that space anymore.
Correct.
And not to say that I don't care about people or things anymore, but like you said, to protect me, to empower myself, I had to take that step back
Yes.
and not care. And there's a positive way to not care
Correct.
about something, you know?
Correct. My grandma used to hate when I say I don't care. And I used to say that a lot when I was a kid, and I found myself saying that these last few years, like, no, I don't care about that.
About that.
And that's what's best for me right now.
Well, right, and I don't care about it right now.
Correct. I don't care. It doesn't matter.
And even if we do care, you don't have to try to do something about it.
Exactly.
And that was my problem.
Exactly. So that is an empower. We give y'all empowerment tips on this empowerment podcast, okay? So let's go into your current focus. We want to know what's up with you right now, most popular. What are some of the projects or initiatives that you're currently working on?
So right now I am a traveling host. I am the host of my own podcast, which is the most popular podcast, where I interview. It started off with artists, but then it, jumped into entrepreneurs and just basically everyone that feels like they want to start a business. Up and coming entrepreneurs, basically. And so I just provide a platform to basically be nosy, and in a good way. People want to know who you are. Like if we see you performing, okay, who are you? Where do you come from? When did you start? All the information that people want to know.
So we do have an artist in the building tonight, okay? And that's how we met, because we went out at one of the spots around here. I don't know if we should name drop or not.
Yeah, actually Mo Bays.
Mo Bays number two.
Right? Number
right?
2, shout outs to RPG,
Absolutely.
Entertainment. Right?
Absolutely. Down off Goddess Ferry, which is where Get It Brown, okay?
Yes,
Putting it down,
Get It
okay?
Brown.
Because that's how I met Most Popular. She was out there. She put me in on her podcast. So make sure y'all definitely subscribe and follow.
Yes, at the Most Popular Podcast on YouTube, Instagram, or Facebook.
Absolutely. So I'm actually an entrepreneur, and the crazy thing is we didn't know a lot about each other that night. We just was doing what we do. And,
see, the funny thing is you're meeting me as a host, I'm meeting you as an artist, but we have so much more outside of that.
Yes. So I'm definitely glad to make shouts out to my boo, okay, for being able to set up this interview. So you definitely want to always appreciate people that's helping you get aligned with people that is just a part of what it is you're trying to accomplish and get done, because you can't do it all by yourself.
And let me add to that, definitely, and that's called not biting the hand that feeds you. You have to acknowledge and appreciate the little things that take you to the next step.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people like this, everybody just keeps going like the Energizing Bunny, and they forget.
Yeah, you got to stop and say thank you.
Yeah.
Be grateful, show your gratitude, give people their flowers.
And flowers can come in many different ways.
So, future goals. What are your future goals and aspirations? And we want to know personal. We want to get in your business and professionally.
So, career-wise, professionally, aside from being a social worker that I accomplished that, thank you guys.
Yes.
I would love to be a high school dance teacher.
Are you serious?
Yes, that's my last 9 to 5. Hopefully. That's
They
my
need
last
you
9 to
right
5.
now.
I know, right?
They need you right now.
Look, I'm gonna look better in my 40s. Don't worry about it.
Okay, and then so is that you said
that was
professionally?
professionally. Now, in my personal career, which is what I'm doing now, which is what I love, I would love to eventually, put out my line of dresses. Because I also design. I would love to grow my teen club. I also have a teen club.
Okay. What ages?
It's called the Most Popular Teen Bash.
Okay.
So it's just high schoolers.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you being the dance teacher?
Yeah. That's how my whole life career started.
Okay.
Since I was young. I started off as a dancer.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And then I went into modeling. Yeah.
You see how her Spanish hurt? You see how?
And I was the party girl.
Damn, girl.
Ludi's house. That's what
So with the dresses, with that line, is it like gonna be plus size?
It's gonna be all sizes. Eventually, I would love to open up a clothing line. That's my long ultimate goal, to open up a clothing line. Yeah, I would love to. I love fashion. I love styling. I love clothes.
We got a model right here.
Actually,
Don't forget
yes,
about it.
and since we on it, I actually model as well, but that's not my main, my main
Okay.
thing. It's just for fun, hobby, to remind myself that, I'm still
I still
baddie.
got it. She got it. She got it. She got it. Puerto Rican person from him.
Listen, don't even start no trouble with Jocelyn. I don't want that beef.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So I love all of what I'm hearing. So what advice would you give to those that are looking to follow in your footsteps? Because I'm sure they heard something that was very inspiring.
Well, for starters, when I started this, and I was called an old rapper, because I do music as well. That's
Okay.
how I started everything. I do have some music, and hopefully I'll also be putting out an EP someday, one day.
Okay.
Then when I got into the model, I was called the 80-year-old model.
They got jokes today.
Do they? Yeah, I've heard a lot of things. Why you doing this? Why now? You need to focus on your legal career. You need to do this. You need to do that. No, you need to do that. Because I did it. That's what I was trying to tell you and everyone. When you say you want to do something, do it. Because once you do it, can't nobody tell you nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, people can advise you and tell you what they think is best for you, but that's not what's best for me.
Right.
What's best for me is what I want to do in my heart, what I'm going to have a passion to continue doing. So you definitely want to do that.
Absolutely. So what's some key insights or some lessons that you've learned that's crucial to personal and professional growth?
I know that this might sound like you hear this all the time, but consistency is really, that's all it is. If you have to keep doing it. You have to keep doing it until you don't want to do it no more. Don't stop doing it because other people telling you not to do it or because you're not seeing results. People need to realize, change your tactic.
Yeah.
Do it a different way.
Yeah.
Do it another day. Do it another time. You know what I'm saying? Don't give up on what it is you're doing. Just try to do it differently.
Yeah, some things gotta definitely be adjusted. Certain little tweaks
Yeah.
can change the game for everything.
And even, I don't know if a lot of other people suffer with this, but I used to, first of all, change was very hard for me.
Mm-hmm.
And so doing something differently was not an option for me. Like, I only see red. It has to be this way and that. No. And I had to understand sometimes you have to do this to get to that.
Yeah.
And I realize that now. And it's just basically pumping your brakes.
Yeah,
That's all it's about.
absolutely. So knowing where you're going, you can have a ton of
You
vision, or you can have
your
a vision, but you gotta know how to connect the dots and the pieces and enjoy the
And
journey.
sometimes your plan may not be the way to get to that vision.
Yeah,
That's
tough.
That's the tough, because then it makes you feel like, oh, so I'm wrong. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm dumb. No, it's okay. Just
We're gonna have to adjust that.
swim a different way.
Yeah. Do you want to get where you're trying to ultimately go, or where God is actually trying to take you? Okay. Do you want to get there?
Don't put yourself in your own way.
Yes.
People want to sit here and complain. Oh, no, it was you.
Mm-hmm.
It was you. It's called self-sabotage.
So she just flowing right on along, because next we're going to talk about mindset and growth. How do you maintain a growth mindset?
Before, I was a big reader.
Okay.
I'm talking about, I used to read dictionaries.
Mm-hmm.
So reading was definitely my go-to before. But now, being open-minded, listening to different people, traveling also helped me a lot.
Mm-hmm.
With
Right.
growth. Yes, definitely traveling. Being open to things that you normally don't do. Even if it's just one time.
Mm-hmm.
You never know what you can learn and where you can, gain from that.
So would you say that helps you stay motivated? Just the
It
traveling?
does. Traveling definitely keeps me motivated.
Okay. So let's go work-life balance. How do you balance this type of profession, like with your responsibility with the kids, being so career-driven? How are you balancing all this out?
I'm not gonna sit here and act like it's been easy, because it haven't. There's been times that I've cried at home. My kids are a little old. I started this like 3 years ago. So before it was tough, I would get depressed because there was opportunities I had to give up because, first of all, I'm a mom. I'm a MOM. I'm a mom before anything. I'm not missing my son's track meet. I'm not missing my daughter's this. I'm doing that, And there was times I had to give up opportunities, big opportunities, because I had to be there for my kids. So that was kind of like hurtful. Now they're a little older, they're understanding. I actually bring them along with me sometimes, so it works out more. But then there's places that, like, like places that we met that can't really have me in because like, the environment, the smoking and drinking and all that. Yeah, exactly. But that was a challenge because you have to juggle it. But I have to say, my kids are very, very, very in tune. They're smart. They support me. So I love them for that. But more importantly, I have to give Gideon Brown his flowers. He has definitely been my backbone. Okay. I have to admit that. He's been supporting me. He's been there with me. He's been everything. And I'm very happy to have him in my life.
Oh, that's cute. Love still works, y'all. Black love still rocks, y'all. Like, this is not a man bashing podcast.
No.
So if y'all ever looking for that
I
over here,
bash men. I'm not into that.
Yeah, I'm not into that at all. We're gonna keep it real all the time, and we're gonna show appreciation. So I love the fact that you was able to, share that. And we're going to, and that's in the balance. Like, moms still need that balance. Relationships do matter. Who you align with, who you're choosing to rock with when you're building, you're grinding, you want somebody that understands.
Yeah, and I'm so happy. I mean, of course, obviously we're in the same field, he and I, so that kind of helps out too, thank God, being in the music industry. Yeah. But it is hard, and I'm also grateful that my kids love him. They love him, so that helps a lot more. Yeah, because they did it, then I'll be
that's right. They don't even go nowhere.
Right. The son turning 14, so that's the age you start acting out.
Young man, who does he? Right. With my mama.
But I got 3 boys. It's all. Oh, you do? Yeah. But it's all good in the Brown's house.
All right. I love that. Okay. So now let's talk about community involvement. How do you engage with and contribute to the community?
Well, with my job alone, being a social worker and that, like, just reunifying these children with their family members and seeing their reaction, like, it's a very sad situation. Like, when you see them running up to their moms or they're called sponsors are the people that are requesting them, and you just see that joy or that sadness, so that's very satisfying to me every day, to be able to be that person to connect them back to their family. Awesome.
So what impact do you hope to have more through the work that you're doing? Just overall.
More, I want to speak more in the entertainment field. Yes. I definitely want to grow. What I do is I want everyone to feel popular. I want everybody to understand that they can all shine.
Girl, you made me feel popular that day. You told me to come up there. Honey. I'm like, oh, okay. I'll be asked for an interview, baby.
I am.
On set. She said mic check, mics and all.
Yes. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what I'm trying to say. Like, you don't have to be a big star to be noticed, and people walk by and people get looked at all the time. You know what I'm saying? So imagine if you in this industry and you're doing stuff like, it's rare, it's hard for people to reach out to you and say, hey, I want to interview you. So imagine somebody calling you out of nowhere and saying, I'm interested in you. I want to know about you. How does it gonna make you feel?
Like how you got that call.
Right, like, it makes you feel popular.
Like, oh, we need you, girl, we need you.
So why not?
Most popular coming.
I like to lift people. I like to, like you said, empower. I want you to be at your best, even whether I know you or don't.
Period.
And that's what I stand for.
And that's what she stand for, because that's how I met her. And she just called me up, mic'd me up. I'm like, man, I'm getting mic'd up left and right, baby. I'm on the most popular podcast. Make sure y'all subscribe, okay?
Yes.
So we want to know a little bit more of your business. We want to know what's your hobbies and interests outside of work, outside of podcasting, outside of helping these children on the border. What you like to do? What's your hobby?
Okay. I know this. Okay, I love to eat.
She's a foodie.
I am a foodie.
She's a foodie.
I can't even help it, man.
That's a little like.
If I could, yes, it is. If I could just be like a guest in a show where I could be the one
just let me taste the food.
Do the taste test. Oh, that's what I want. Look, that's on my bucket list.
Oh my
But
goodness. We got so many similarities.
yes,
It's
first
crazy.
of all, I do have expensive taste with my food. I do.
Put us down on some
I'm
of the
not a
restaurant.
full
What you eating?
pescatarian, but I do love seafood.
Okay.
So seafood's not that expensive like it was before.
It's not.
First of all, so let's get that out the way before I'm like, But I like to eat rich foods. I love when I travel. That's my main thing. I'm going there to see what is their cultural dish, what is the famous foods that they eat, all of that.
Give us some dishes that you done ate. Introduce us to some of what your palate does taste.
I love rice.
Okay.
That's one of my top.
What kind of rice?
two.
Is it Spanish rice?
I love Spanish food, of course.
I'm like,
I'm not trying to be biased, but I do love soul food.
Okay.
I do.
Which part? Like the macaroni and oxtails, or what your plate look like?
I like yams.
That's my favorite, girl.
Yeah, I do like. Actually, I was supposed to make yams today.
Do not make no candied yams if you don't know what you're doing, and don't be buying them canned candy.
And then let me tell you, no, that's so disrespectful.
That is disrespectful to anybody that want yams.
Who does
Speaking
that?
on behalf of your children.
Yes, I'm sorry. Well, that's the new generation. I mean, I know that I'm not, per se African American, and that's not the food that I grew up eating, but I can cook it.
Yeah.
And, when I put my mind into
I believe you.
I can. Actually, I cooked soul food last night.
What was the?
I made greens, collard greens. I did with some turkey, smoked legs
In it.
Yeah, wings and
Okay.
smoked wings.
Uh-huh.
I made cornbread. I made yellow rice,
Mm.
but I made the yellow rice Spanish style.
Okay. Okay.
Mashed potatoes. I think there was.
Okay.
Barbecue ribs.
You done made like 3 meals. You done made a buffet.
You know why? Because I don't often cook, and I'm sick and tired of Brown and my kids attacking me because I don't cook.
And you made that yesterday.
So no, I made that these past 3 days. I've been slaving in that kitchen. These are dishes like the barbecue chicken was the day before yesterday, so it lasted. So I sauced it up again.
I
threw it in. Yes, I do. You gotta resource. When you use meat the next day, please resource it.
Resource it. Nobody want no dry meat.
No, you don't. Throw a little bit of water, something, barbecue something. But because I love rice, Italian rice is called risotto. Have you ever had that?
I heard of it.
Okay, please try some good risotto. You would enjoy it. But I like mainly everything. As long as it just tastes so good, I'm happy.
Tell me if it tastes so good.
I like listening to music. Yes. I like dancing around and playing around.
So are there some particular podcasts or resources that influencing you right now?
Honestly,
or books?
I don't even be having time to do any of that. I think the most I'm watching right now is probably Baddies. I'm not gonna lie. The truth is, I've never been a TV person.
Okay.
That's number one. But let me see. There is. I definitely listen to The Breakfast Club.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie. I do listen to them. I follow them too. I can't think right now, but there's a few people that definitely has influenced me.
So listen, you guys, we already had the one and only Miss Most Popular herself on here. We definitely want to appreciate her for all of her time, allowing us to get to know her. This is not going to be her last time on the iamTiffany Empowerment Podcast. Is it anything that you would like to leave our viewers with today?
Yes, I would like to let everyone know too, it doesn't matter how old are you, whatever it is you want to do it. Write it and get it done. Don't let anyone discourage you from doing something that they may feel like is too late for you. That's just the main thing I want to say. And I also would like to advertise my fashion show.
Okay.
A Night in Paris fashion show. So my partner and I, Miss Erlene Boy Show, we partner up to have a fashion show this year, December 7th, 2024. Is going to be in Columbia, South Carolina. Okay. Save the date for the location.
Okay.
Our first casting call was July 6th, and it went amazing.
Awesome.
We had up to 25 models.
Okay.
And the second casting call is going to be August 17th between 2 and 4 p.m. at the Goings Dance Studio.
Okay, and where is that?
And that is 1533 Augusta Road, Columbia, South Carolina.
Awesome.
So I look forward to you coming. You don't have to be a professional. Any size heels, dress in all black. Bring your A game, and you'll be good to go.
Awesome. So I love that drop right there. Also, we have more opportunities for y'all to enter into the barber battle. I will share some more of that with you all. We got the barber battle coming up in November. That'll be the Carolina Classic. My phone actually froze.
Oh, you're going to Carolina Classic?
Yeah, the Carolina Classic barber battle. It's going to be a hair and fashion show
Yes.
as well.
I didn't walk with them, but I rehearsed with them.
Okay, awesome. So, see,
Shout outs to Luchina.
All
China.
right.
Some people call it Luchina, some people call it China.
yeah.
So,
We are participating in a part of that event because we have actually was requested, but my phone froze. So we will share some more of that. But thank y'all for tuning in. I am Tiffany, Empire Impact Igniting y'all to be who God has called y'all to be and do what it is He's called you to do. Thanks for tuning in.
thank you, y'all.
Till next time. All right.